So I was recently on LinkedIn and I was watching I would call it an accounting influencer, talking about how someone approached him for services due to the fact that his in-house accounting team was basically doing fraud and had already taken about 250K from his business. Yikes. So that's not good. The one thing I always like to share information with as business owners is make sure you have access to QuickBooks and make sure you go in at least just once a month and see if the accounts are being reconciled. That will give you an instant feedback on, okay, how up to date is really everything. You're not going to identify theft from this. There are still workarounds. I've seen these unfortunate workarounds happen. If the staff knows you have access, that will keep them on their toes. And then, two, if they know that you are at least looking at these reconciliation reports, that will also keep them on their toes. And it will give you a clue as to how up to date things are. Because if things aren't reconciled, everything could be recorded. But if it's not reconciled, reconciliation is always kind of that double check. So I want to run through this with you. There are a couple different ways to do this within QuickBooks, and it depends on your access level. So first off, if you do have administrative access, which I do suggest if you are the owner to have administrative access to your QuickBooks, I would get that. And it's not going to show up in here. First of all, I'm in a sample account. But if you do have admin access, there will be what's called an overview tab. And it will pop up here. It'll have two little headers right here. And there's usually going to be one right around in here once you click on that overview tab that will say, I think, reconciliations. That'll give you a very quick snapshot as to when each bank account and credit card was reconciled and the date it was reconciled on. So that is fantastic if you have that access. If you do not have that access, let me show you how you can still see what's been reconciled. The only problem is you're going to have to kind of go one by one. Let's say you're in here, you've landed into QuickBooks. You're going to go over to reports. Let's just go standard reports. And then you could go through and hunt for this. It'll be down there somewhere, but I'm just going to put in, there we go, reconciliation report. Okay, now you're not going to see any reports here because this is a dummy account. But what you will be able to do in your own account is you'll be able to click on any kind of bank account you have connected to QuickBooks and any kind of credit card you have. And you'll be able to select those accounts through here. And what should be happening is, assuming someone has reconciled at some point, it will populate down here the reconciliation report. And it will tell you when it was reconciled. It'll tell you how much it was off. It might tell you some unreconciled items. That is just a great little snapshot to help you kind of see what's going on. I would suggest if you have 10 minutes a month, just pop in here and see what's going on. Just the fact that your staff or your bookkeeper knows that you're going in here, there'll be some accountability right out of the gate. I think this is just one great way of, again, creating some checks and balances, creating some accountability. And you don't have to know QuickBooks and you don't have to be an expert in accounting, but it gives you a little control and there's a little accountability if it's just, say, you and a bookkeeper in your business right now. You can kind of just go in and see what's happening. All right, hope this helps.